Hey guys, and welcome to Dan-gler's Sea Fishing. Tonight I'm fishing Alum Bay. Now let's get fishing.
Daddy's going fishing.
Got a new rod and I got some new line. Got a boat, it's just about time to head on out to my favorite spot. It's just about fishing time. Bee bye, bicky bye, bicky bye, bo, bicky bye, bicky bye, bicky boo. Bee bye, bicky bye, bicky bye, bo, bicky bye, bicky bye, bicky boo.
So guys, as I said, today I'm fishing Alum Bay. As you can see, absolutely stunning place this. It is actually one of my favourite places on the island to fish. I don't get down here too much because if there's anything approaching the west, it can be pretty horrible down here. But we've been stuck with easterlies for the last couple of weeks, so it meant it was a good opportunity to get down here. The water is gin clear, as it is quite regularly down here. I'm not too worried about that. It is very often clear down here, and I've had some really cracking nights down here in the past. So my targets tonight are bass and congers. I've put myself into the corner, so we're sort of fishing in towards the cliffs tonight, and that's what I'm going to use to try and pick up some bass. I know it can be quite a good little spot down here for bass, and this bay can throw up some of the best congers on the island. So let's have a look at the baits we brought tonight. So I'm actually on a bit of a use up session, so I've got one mackerel and one pilchard with me. I've got a pack of sand eels, I've got a half-used pack of big squid, I've got a pack of smaller squid, and I've got a bit of cuttle. So my targets tonight will be to put a pulley pennel in fairly close onto the left-hand side of me towards the rocks, and then I'm going to ping one out into the middle and see what else we can find in the middle. So the bay itself is not actually prone to a lot of tidal run, especially where we are. So it's good to be able to use some smaller weights tonight. So I'm going to be using 5-ounce weights all night. As I said, we're not really affected by tide run here. I'm going to use grippers still because I want them to set the hook for me, but they're not really there to hold it in the tide. So the first rig I'm sending out is a pulley pennel with a whole squid with the head removed, and that's the one I'm going to use just to search for a bass at the moment. Later I'll probably change that to a fishy bait, but for now I'm just going to keep it simple. I've got plenty of squid down there, and I'm going to start off with a bit of squid. So I've just got a sand eel and then whipped a squid body around it. You'll notice that my squid is quite pink. That doesn't matter, especially when you're conger fishing. This will still fish well, just has a bit more scent to it. I actually find sometimes that the pinker ones tend to work a little bit better when you're conger fishing anyway. So as we're using up some bait, that doesn't really matter. So the baits are in the water, fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll see some fish soon. So now that we've got our baits in the water, let's have a look at what setup we've got tonight. So I'm using the same setup on both of my rods. I've got my Sonic SK3s, the rebuilt one and the non-rebuilt, and I've got them matched up with Slosh 20s with braided full 50-pound line on there. So the whole squid didn't have too much interest on the other side, so I'm just going to whip up half an anchovy and just send that out on on the same rig, but I'm going to send it out in front of me this time instead of casting out towards the rocks. It is a bit snaggy over there, but I'll probably try again over that way later. Could really do with one of them sessions, you know, just like when you're inundated with bites all night. I don't want to fish every time, but could just do with a busy session. I feel like everything has been like, you know, you have a little bit and then it's just dead. And it's been like that since like February.
What you'll say, yeah, pretty much. All this year, really, yes.
Yeah. Well, January we were pretty good, right at the beginning. We had some really good spells. We had them big congers and, you know, rays and stuff like that. Is that a bite? That is a bite. Oh, something on this, but it won't budge. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's definitely something on it. I think it's a conger. I think he might have gone over my other line. Nope. It's literally. That's a ray. So guys, look, we've got a beautiful spotted ray. Haven't seen one of these guys for a little while. I was going through a spell where they were the only ray I could catch. Well, they are still the only ray I can catch this year, but as you can see, absolutely stunning ray. When you're holding rays, it is always best to try and support them under the body like I'm doing now. This helps protect the fish. Because they have no rib cage, it supports their internal organs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and just have a quick weigh on this guy, see what he is. He feels like a pretty decent ray. So I'm going to give him a quick weigh, then I'll come back and talk to you after I've released him, and hopefully I'll post up a picture for you. All right.
Right, he'll go. Oh yeah.
So what a beautiful fish that was. As I said, £4 5 ounces. That is a new PB for me, of the spotted variety, obviously. Yeah, it came in on the half an anchovy that I sent out. So hopefully let's see a few more. Oh, that was a bite.
Dan, your rod's going, mate.
Oh God. Yeah. I don't think I got it.
Oh no.
Well guys, I've been having a bit of an issue with snagging. That is one of the things about coming in a little bit closer to the cliffs, is there is some rocky outcrops and stuff out there, and I think I keep getting picked up by crabs and brought into the snags. We did have a fairly good bite there while I was trying to sort out the other reel, but unfortunately I missed that one. We think it may have been a conger, but I'm not 100% sure because it didn't actually look like the bait had been congered. Anyway, hopefully we'll get the next one. Well, I'm certainly busy with the old bites at the moment, but I'm not quite used to the braid yet. Switching between the two and fishing with mono for so many years, you do forget how aggressive the bites show up on braid, and it does make me pounce a little bit quick, and I should be a little bit more delayed unless I know that that fish is definitely on there. So I'll give it a little bit more time to develop on the next one. Don't know if we've got it or not. Nope. That's a better bite. Yeah, it's got to be on there. Do you know, I don't think it is. I don't know how that wasn't on there. So it seems like I'm being plagued by either little congers or pout or something. I don't know, they just don't want to hook up. Anyway, so I'm going to send out a bit of a bigger bait. So I've got a bit of mackerel, which I've split in half and then rolled up the side of a squid. And then I've just got that on a pulley pennel and just left the tentacles dangling at the bottom there. That might entice a bit of nibbling beforehand, but we'll see if we can get one this time. So the next bait I've got going out is half a cuttlefish. I'm sending this out. Cuttlefish normally tends to be what I catch bigger congers on, so I'm hoping that might entice a bigger one out. I'll leave that one a little while. Keep getting bites, but...
Sorry, mate?
I said it's constant with bites, but they're just these little ones that are just picking around the hook. I think it's this one. So there we are, guys. The cuttle, as I said, managed to find a conger. He's quite fat, but really stubby. He's quite an odd conger, this one. He's obviously not a particularly heavy weight. He's quite aggressive though, and he's got quite a big mouth on this one. Anyway, let's pop him back and see what we can find, see if we can find that bigger one. So it is actually a full moon tonight, but what is nice is we've actually got a lot of cloud cover, so it is pitch black down here. Apart from in this one section where you can't see anything because the light is shining straight at you. But it is nice and dark. That is helping us, and that is keeping the fish biting fairly frequently. This has probably been one of the most active sessions I've had for a while. Although we've only had 2 fish so far, we've had a good number of bites already. And they've been fairly consistent throughout the night. Neil's had fairly consistent bites as well. And a couple of fish as well, so. So for my next bait to go out, what I've got is I've got a Joey mackerel head, which I've just put the open end at the bottom, and then I've put the nose of the mackerel just inside the body of a squid, and then just whipped it all up together into one. So as you can see, there's blood dripping out the bottom there. That's ready to go. That was a quick bite. That's only been in there a minute, if that. Definitely looks like something just pecking at it. Pecking at the guts, maybe. It's not the bite of a big conger. Big congers, one, they wait for the bait to have been sat out there for a long time. They're very and they bite quite delicately. The little ones are far more ferocious, really sort of go at it, but the big ones are really cautious with it. This looks more like either a very small strap or maybe a rocklin or pout, something along them lines. But sometimes while they're biting at it, you can get other fish come along and hit it. Well, that there is a convenient hookup, because that just came in on a 2.0 pulley, and that could be my next bait to go out. So we dispatch him and then send him out. So I'm pretty sure that those little knocks that we were getting that weren't amounting to anything were probably pout playing around with the bait. They didn't look twisted up enough to be small congers, so I'm pretty sure it was those pout. So that pout that I had, I've now popped that out short, and that's just on a ratchet. That's a good bait to try and hit a nice size bass. So I've just popped it out short. We're at the top of the tide. There's some nice swell movement. Hopefully there should be some nice bass moving around in here looking for something to eat. You can also send pout out like that out to distance and pick up some nice congers on them, but today I'm just going to pop it short and see if we can find a bass on it. Ooh. Oh, I missed it. Yeah. I'm gutted we had a take on our whole pout. It slack-lined it as well. Just didn't, it turned the hooks in, so I've tried to reset the hooks a little bit and flick it out. Maybe it'll come back for it. But it'd have to be a pretty big fish to take on that pout, so hopefully it will come back. Well guys, this has been a pretty alright session. We've been pretty busy. I managed to get a PB on that spotted ray, and we've had a few fish. It's not been those really busy fish-filled sessions that we're after, but they will come. It is getting there. It's that weird in-betweeny time at the moment where we get quite warm days, but we still got quite cold evenings. So we're sort of in between winter species and spring species. And until those spring species fully arrive, we're not going to get those really busy sessions. But we are still finding fish and we're still having a nice time. Anyway, if you are enjoying my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Unless there's a screaming reel sometime while I'm packing up, I'll see you in the next video. Anything touch it?
Crabs.
Crabs. Good old crabs.